So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about Lenowah, about the activation, how it happened for me, and how I channel it now, and how those beings show up. I know I laid out a sequence for the episode. You'll have to stick with me a little bit because when I'm in the channeled energy, it's like living between two worlds. So this might feel a little different than the usual episode, but I really feel called to talk about it, and that means I'm trusting what's coming through. You might also notice a shift in my voice when I'm speaking channeled messages, or a shift in my energy. Sometimes there can be an excitability, there can be a passion, there can also be a different frequency or tone. So just know that can happen, and it's part of the journey. When I was working with these beings for the first time, it was a completely unexpected activation and the way they showed up. And for the first time ever, I want to walk you through the journey of what that was and tell you step by step what happened. I speak about this on other podcasts as guest on those podcasts, but I felt like this story deserved a place, a home here with you, all of you who show up every week and listen in to the ever unfolding journey of reclamation. I was sitting at home one weekend and my husband was with my son and they were occupied playing, and I got this nudge, this urge, go on a hike, go on a walk, head to the river. And whenever I feel that from my spirit team, it's a very loving, warm, comforting nudge. I know the language of my soul, of my spirit team now, after many years of being in this field and as a practitioner and doing this work. So when I get those loving nudges, those warm, intuitive feelings and downloads, I tend to follow them to the best of my ability because there's usually something pretty spectacular, something I need to learn, someone I get to connect with along the way. It's how I've met some of my very best friends. It's how I've had some of the most amazing opportunities in this business. And those nudges have created synchronicity beyond my wildest imagination. You know, I'm a huge proponent of building self-trust, of following your intuition and reclaiming your inner wisdom. So it may come as no surprise to you that I try and live this in my own life, in the aspect of how I show up in my everyday life, again, to the best of my ability, as a mom with a really, really active 5-year-old kid, and as someone who is also just trying to enjoy my life and be present in the moment. So when I put on my hiking boots, I walked down to the trail and I just let myself be guided through the woods. I could feel this feeling of being called somewhere, but I wasn't sure exactly where or why. I was immediately called to this riverside trail, and so I followed the river and let myself just be immersed in it. I started feeling this energy of what it is to receive downloads. It's this feeling of equal openness and pressure, like something's about to drop in, so it's time to receive it. When I feel that feeling, I try to stop what I'm doing and receive, because it's like a little gift-wrapped package from the universe with a bow, big red bow on top. And when you feel that package, that gift come into your field, especially for me, it tends to be a clairsentient and clairvoyant experience. So in the mind's eye and in the body, feeling that, sometimes also an inner knowing. When I start to feel that knowing and that pressure building come in, I know it's time for me to really listen, because there's something that's about to be delivered that I wouldn't have ever been able to guess was on its way. Think of it like a little surprise package in the mail, except we're receiving it through energy mail. That's the best way I can describe it. And as I go to the river, I hear, as I'm overlooking and I have just put my hands and feet in the river, and I hear an invitation, is the best way I can describe it, to be with my hands in the earth. So I kneel down, I place both my hands in the earth. It's the Pacific Northwest is where we were at at the time. It's mossy. I could smell the petrichor. I could feel the after rain. I could hear the stream. I could hear the birds chirping. I was under these massive canopy trees. It was just really beautiful. And as I put my hands in the earth, my mind's eye and my eyes started rapidly blinking and like moving behind my eyelids. So I shut my eyes and I could feel the dappled sunlight coming through, and I could feel myself being brought between two worlds. I was needing to put my hands in the earth to stay grounded, because what I was about to experience was so in the, I guess, astral realm, in the energy of connection with galactic beings, that being grounded is really, really important when receiving that. So then I hear these beings and I see them, and they're unlike anything I've ever seen or felt in my life. And it took me a minute to understand what was happening, but I heard, you're being activated to receive a channel from these beings. These beings were these beautiful, kind of short, light beings. They had a lot of blue and white energy in their fields. They had these beautiful antennae that had these shimmers and sparkles on the end. They communicate telepathically. They are light beings, so they feel through energy. Everything is on a different plane of existence. In fact, I will say it was almost hard for me to perceive what was happening because it was so different than our Earth experience. And they were trying to relate to me. So what I felt is I felt them approach me in the woods. And of course, they're not in a 3D physical form. It's a third eye energetic perception. And I felt them come to me and place their hands near me, and I could feel them telepathically communicate. And they said, let us show you our world. Let us show you where your soul is from. Let us show you who you are and that you can connect with us. So I said, are you here from a place of love? Yes. Are you here as beings of unconditional love and universal support? Yes. Do you love me? Yes. Okay, I'm ready. And as I sat there, I was, kneeled on the ground with my hands deep in the earth. I could feel my energy just expand, like this channel moved through that I've never felt before. And they physically felt like part of my energy was brought to their world. It felt like what I can only describe as almost like astral traveling, but it's like being brought visions while also your energy is shifting. It's this very in-between and interesting energy that I only experience when I connect with them. It has been a very, very unique energetic experience for me. As I connect with them, as I feel them flow in, as I feel their just joy and love and energetic presence and intensity too, they also have this very gentle, nurturing nature to them. They are really energy beings, light beings that don't take the same 3D kind of tangible energetic density form that we have here in a human body. It feels much different. So as I'm transported to the vision of their planet, they show me what it was like to be born, what it's like to be born into their world, into their species, race, into their, being as a being. And they started telling me, and I asked, who are you? And they said, Lenowans. I've come to understand that Lenowah is the planet, and then Lenowans is how they call themselves, is what they call themselves. So it was these two beautiful words that I had to make sense of. And of course, there's this thing that is felt, that is translated into the English language. So that's our word for their planet, the best they can give us. But I also sensed that it was something much greater, much deeper than anything that my language could capture or understand. They brought me to the river and the bank of the river, and I saw everything in these purples and pink hues. You know those most beautiful sunsets you see here on Earth, the pinks and the purples, and they fill the sky with these tremendous colors. And then there's that flash, kind of that golden flash right before the sun sets. The entire planet is like that all the time. It's really these vibrant hues of color. And I look and I start to go try to feel the grass and its energy. So when you put your hand through it, it moves through, you move with it. Everything is a shimmering energy. And when I went to go put my feet in the river as they guided me to, the energy of the river washed over us. It wasn't that heaviness or density of water that could wash you away here if you get in too deep. It didn't have that same power. It flowed with your energy and you became part of the river. So they guided me to lay down in this beautiful river and start to receive the codes, activations, and light energy of their planet to remember what it was like for my soul to experience that. Now you have to imagine a few minutes before this, I was making breakfast. I was making eggs and pancakes, drinking a tea, and wrestling with my 5-year-old. And then 30 minutes later, I'm in the forest with my hands in the dirt, receiving this activation that I did not ask for. I had no idea was coming, and I could not believe what was happening. But I trust, because it's never, ever, ever steered me wrong. Truly, this spiritual experience with my guides, with galactic beings, with angels, and my ancestors that are here for my highest good, that connection has always made life more beautiful, more synchronous, more guided than ever before. And it took me years to get here. I was not this person. I was very negative minded. I was very just like a victim of life for a really long time. And it wasn't until I started being in this world and allowing my soul to remember that I remembered that life's happening through me. So why wouldn't I want this beautiful experience to happen through me? let's say you're the most skeptical. I love skepticism because I am always just like a good degree of skeptical in every moment. I think it's necessary for my human brain to recognize what's going on. And so even if you're like, that's just your mind making up a beautiful vision based on something you feel in the moment. Okay, I'll take it. I will take it. I couldn't imagine not. I couldn't imagine not receiving that. It was so beautiful and so loving and so unconditional that if that's what it is, then great. But I do feel it's something different for me, and everyone has their own expression and opinion of that. And I value that everyone's experience is going to be different. But for me, it was very much connecting with my star family, those galactic beings. As I'm feeling these light codes move through my DNA and wake something up in me, I knew that I was never going to be the same again after that. And I also knew that it wasn't going to be something or someone that I was connecting with every day. It felt like I could call them in when I needed them. They would arrive when I needed them to arrive, but they weren't going to be there in every moment of every day because I was human, living my human life. And that energy it's a lot to hold. It is a lot to hold. After that activation, I thanked them. What felt like hours and hours and hours of being in the woods was probably about 10 to 12 minutes. Time was not the same. I learned so much about their planet. I was able to see myself telepathically connecting. They like to use their beautiful antenna and stream light between the antennae and then receive informations telepathically, so they communicate in that way. It was one of the most profound and beautiful experiences of my life, and it took me a really long time to speak about it. I remember sitting in the woods with a new friend and being like, this is the place this activation happened, and being like, how is this person going to receive that? And she was great. She was wonderful. She's like, tell me more. But you never know because it's so different than what our culture teaches us is available to us. But I always like to say, there's so many of us that have this happen. There's so many of us that feel this way. So in some ways, it's acceptance and understanding in numbers, meaning there's a lot of us individually having these experiences that lead really practical, really grounded lives and have learned to trust that there might be something more beautiful than our human form can imagine. And I like to live that way because why not live life with a little magic and mystery? Especially that. That was beautiful. As I emerged from the woods, I knew I was never going to be the same again. I knew my identity had to shift, and I knew that something was being brought to life through me, and I didn't know what yet. Fast forward a couple months, I get the feeling to move our entire family to Scotland for at least 6 months. We were planning to be there permanently, but life had other plans. We got rid of all of our physical belongings yet again. We've done that multiple times in our lives. Found a family that needed those exact belongings and pretty much bought all of our things. And we moved with the suitcases, our cats, my child, and my husband. All of that, I believe, started from that activation. All of it started from that space of it's time to trust deeply. It's time to live an intuitively guided life because how can I guide others on that journey? How can I be here in Reclamation? How can I inspire all of you if I'm not living it too? So it was a big test. It was a big transition. It was a big change in my life, and it's one I'm really glad. Over the course of the next couple months, the Lenowans came to me multiple times in many different situations, visions, dreams, channeling, being out in nature especially. Anytime I'm in big wind storms or immersed in bodies of water, in quiet natural settings, they appear. I feel their presence. I feel their shimmer. I feel them approach. I feel them surround me. And when I need extra support and I'm going through a big identity shift, I feel them behind me, almost like touching my shoulders and amplifying my energy field and reminding me of what they showed me that very first time. In fact, thinking about that first activation, I'm a little bit emotional because it was love. It was love in a form that I hadn't felt before. Not that the love of being human isn't spectacular, it is, but this was love from galaxies away, love from a whole nother universe, love from a soul level. And it also made me feel really at home in who I am here in this human incarnation because I could see a lot of the traits and ideas and personalities and the way I move through life align with that energy. I could see sparkles and glimmers of that have been with me since I was that little girl. It really validated that 6-year-old, 7-year-old little girl who put rocks in her pocket and swirled around in circles, who wanted to be in nature all the time, who collected things, who loved the magic and mystery of the living world, and who wanted to protect every single creature on the planet. at all times, that valued the life of an ant as much as of the next person, who just really understood the interconnected web of all things. That little girl felt seen. And since then, my life has changed a lot. So what I can do here today, after sharing the story with you of this activation and how these beings come through to me, what I can do is be more open, because if you are having experiences like this, if you are feeling them come to life through you, but you feel it's odd, it's strange, you don't know if it's right, it just doesn't, you don't know if you can trust it. I hope by sharing my experience of how I connect, how I learn who the beings are, how I ask for validation about the energy of why they're approaching, and trust myself in the feeling I get, that I can empower you to do that, whether it's these massive channel downloads and activations or in the tiniest micro moments of your life. It's the same underlying set of abilities. It just shows up differently for everybody. Sometimes these things come unexpectedly, and sometimes it's the compounding effects over a lifetime of choosing to trust yourself over the noise of the world. If you're here and you're learning, amazing. I'm so proud of you. I hope that this lands with you the way it needs to in your heart. In fact, I know it will. And if you're curious to learn more, just know there's resources available to you. I share on YouTube. I write on Substack under the Sacred Flame. I'm always on social media sharing what I can. And most importantly, I bring that here to this podcast so that you have a way to always meet me in this energy and meet other like-minded souls in this energy and truly not feel alone on your journey, because we are our own inner oracles and we get to bring that energy to life. So before we go today, I would love to channel a message from the beautiful Lenowans. I would love to let them speak through me, and I hope you'll stick with me. Just give me a moment to tune in, and we'll dive right in. Hello, dear ones. We come to you today with a message. We come to you today with a feeling. We come to you today with a remembering. Our energy is so delighted to be called in for this connection, this community, this conversation. We know you are listening. We thank you for receiving us and our way of being, and we thank you for receiving our guidance and light. We are beings of energy. We are beings of communication through frequency and what you call energy and love. We do not see this as any other way as our normal, our way of existing in the world, but to you it might feel unfamiliar, unknown. So thank you for bridging that energy and being open to something different than your current soul experience. We always come with questions of reflection and of activation through light and code. Our job is to support you on your journey, not direct you somewhere else. Our job is to have you, ask you, to invite you to look within, because that's where it starts. This is the abundance of life, and your collective, your human race is going through a big transition, a massive collective awakening. Things are happening quickly. They're happening quicker than ever before. We recognize this feels tumultuous. It feels like you're on some sort of soul ride and you can't get off. There's no exit, there's no door, and you just have to hold on tight and see what happens. Many of us in our planets and our iterations have been through something similar, and time moves differently. I know we are vast expanses away, but we are also so connected because energy connects all things across time, space, and dimension. We are here with nothing but unconditional love. So let us ask you this. Where in your life can you look within and expand into more beauty? Where can you connect with the energy of the living world around you, with the rivers and the trees and the soil and the earthworms and the bugs and the blades of grass? Everything is right available to you at your fingertips. You've been taught to look past it, to go bigger, 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 bigger. Big vision, big identity, big needs, big desires, more. But our way of approaching this connection is to start at the tiniest fragments of life and move you into greater connectedness and understanding with the smallest organisms on your planet so that you may understand the greater connectedness of all things. And when you understand the greater connectedness of all things and all energy, you become something greater than what you ever imagined you could be from the very beginning. It is not about perfection. It is not about figuring it out. It is not about some ultimate purpose. My dear hearts, don't you know that you are love embodied? And your biggest, hardest challenge in this 3D human experience is to remember that knowing, to remember that understanding, to feel deeply what it is to love. Love can be scary for you in your human form. It can be terrifying because it means you are vulnerable, and it means that you must trust. And love with healthy understanding of the difference between unconditional love and what you call your overgiving, well, that is a human experience for your time. We want you to know that life can be felt deeply, more deeply than you've ever known, that you can experience these connections and activations beyond what your mind can envision, that when you open up the energy to the possibility beyond, to the interdimensionality, to the way time moves, to the way energy is felt across all of it, something unlocks. Your soul wakes up inside your physical form. Your field expands for possibility, and you no longer walk this earth experience in the same way. You start to bring in more of this telepathic connection. You start to understand people deeply just by being in their presence and their energy. Communication doesn't always have to have words. It can be a felt experience. And we come here with the activations for you that in all the ways it shows up in your life, with your family that you think of and they call, with your friends who knew something about you before you told them, with your children who you're constantly connected with psychically, even though you may not have words for it. This is energetic, telepathic communication. You can embrace this and amplify it in your life, and it will help you shift your own life and therefore the trajectory of your planet. Your planet is in big shift right now. It is in a state of what we call turmoil. And we understand this may feel disorienting. We understand this may feel hard. We understand this may feel like it's falling apart. There is fear and challenge. But remember, you can hold the energy of all at once. You can be moving through some of the hardest moments of your life collectively and still embody the change in the energy and the way you move through the world in your own life. Collectively, you amplify this field of energy. Collectively, you bring a new resonance to your communities and your lives. Collectively, you remember that it was never about just this one moment or just this one purpose or just this one point on the light map. Your soul is a constellation of stars across many universes, and together you illuminate the night sky of your own life. So do not despair, dear souls. Do not despair, beautiful light beings. Do not despair, my loved ones, my earthly friends. Do not despair, the creatures of the earth, of Mother Earth. You are here for your soul to create another constellation, another light point, another wayfinding star in the sky. When you look at life from a zoomed out perspective, when you draw back and see how your many experiences create a vast expanse of understanding across dimensions and lifetimes, you realize that it's not so serious after all. In fact, it's one big journey wrapped together in this full lived experience, and the wholeness of you already exists. You just get to tap into it. We love you, we are here in support of you, and we leave you with this one question. How do you shine your light today in the constellation of your life so that you may be the light point for others as they form their own stars and constellations in their own light? This is where we leave you now. We cherish our time connecting. We are here in the energy of love in our heart space, across time, space, universe, dimensions, galaxies. None of that separates us. We are here always, and we are pleased to connect with you on this earth plane. It'll be interesting to go back and watch that. Being in a channel is kind of strange and wonderful and beautiful. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for trying this out. Thank you for sharing this. I hope whatever landed today was exactly what your heart needed. Thank you for being in the vulnerability of reclamation and also walking back to your inner truth. Until next time, beautiful humans, until next time, rebellious, wild-hearted souls of the world, I leave you with this. Continue to go out and shine your magic, to hold the torch of the flame of your heart and soul into the world so that you may lead yourself and others. And if it all feels like too much, just remember, one beautiful aligned step